Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the algorithm of creation and the source code of the simulation. My videos don't have bells and whistles. My videos don't have cutscenes, cut takes, inserted images, and flashing neon lights. And that's for a reason. The reason is those who seek information, those who seek knowledge and wisdom, they have to know what sounds right to them. They have to feel it. So, like I said in my previous video, I don't have anything to say to you if you want bells and whistles. But if you feel that this message is for you, then stay. It's interesting to see how social media works. Let's say you open up an account in Instagram per se, and right out of the bat, it's blank. They don't know what to show you unless you say you know someone. So then after you say you know someone and you invite them as a contact, then the algorithm can say, well, if you know this person and you're inviting this person, chances are that you might also like what that person likes. So it starts to build up a little data sheet about you that starts to see and probe to see if you like the same things as your friends do. But why is that? It's because once you are in the software, their business is to grab your attention. Your time is valuable. Your awareness is valuable. And this is a key point to this whole discussion we're having today. Your awareness. So in the algorithm of the program that we're talking about, it starts to build a profile around your preferences. It's interesting to see my personal journey with this program has been, I started off getting suggestions from friends and seeing tastes, what you like, what you don't like. And I start gravitating to like funny things, like funny kittens playing and funny dogs and animals. And then all of a sudden I was getting video suggestions of like veterinaries and animals and then save the whales and different things like that. I was like, this is starting to go a little overboard. So then another video appeared and it was a suggestion and I clicked the like button. And the like button is very powerful. And also, as you can understand, in that regards, in that scenario of the program, it's very rudimentary. It is in its infancy. And why do I say that? It's because when you hit the like button, you're just telling the algorithm something that it is very relevant to them, but it doesn't give them any extra information. It's like, how much did you like it on a scale from 1 to 10? That would give the algorithm so much more information. And it's funny to see that the like you click for the little kitten that was playing with a furrball and you thought it was cute, has the same weight as the like you clicked on a video that made you cry. And that range of emotions is not captured by the algorithm. It's not captured by the program because it's so rudimentary that it doesn't account for what emotion it has elicited from you. So something that made you cry tears of joy has the same weight as a little kitten that just made you giggle. So the first person that starts to crack this code of the algorithm for social media will be a genius, will be a millionaire, a billionaire, because is this video making you cry because it reminded you of your father, your mother, your grandfather, a personal reason. Did this video is making you cry because you felt guilty, because you felt afraid? Did this video make you laugh because it reminded you of something of your childhood? It made you laugh just because you just thought it was funny. That distinction on the range of emotions is so important for the algorithm, yet it just goes unnoticed. And talking about the simulation now, reality as we see, that distinction does not go unnoticed. So I'm talking about here today about the algorithm of creation, and I'm talking about, of course, the church of the simulation, and how things are tailored to us. And it's very similar. We can draw contrasts to the platforms on social media to discuss this, so we can say, oh, wow, right? So when you first start your account in the church of the simulation, welcome to Earth. What is your name? Did you choose it? Does that have any influence in your life for the rest of your life? What is your last name? What does it mean to you? Does it carry any weight? You see, in the military service, you are not called by your first name, you're called by your last name. Because last names are more rare than first names, common names, right? And why is that? What are you carrying from the get-go on your name? So then the algorithm starts building. Who were your parents? What did they like? What are the influences and suggestions on your simulation that were influenced by the things that your parents liked? Do you happen to like soccer because your dad likes soccer? Do you happen to root for the same team? Or did you want to rebel and you chose another team, but you still like soccer as your favorite sport? Did your father play hockey in college, in high school, and that's why you like hockey? Why do you like the things that you like? Is it because of suggestions that were planted in you from the get-go of your simulation? Or do you truly, honestly have the calling for something that you like? Usually those people are artists, or their brain is wired and they just knew. I have a friend of mine, his name is Kiki. He's a phenomenal tattoo artist. I call him master. Why do I call a tattoo artist master? Well, I started to learn about this guy, and he told me that he would go to school, he would just draw on his notebook. He wouldn't take any notes. And he would do poorly on tests, and he really didn't care. And he would get home and he would continue drawing. He would draw all day. And then when he was, I think, 12, an uncle did a bargain with someone and ended up with a tattoo pen and gave it to him as a present. And he was like, oh, wow, I can draw something else than my notebook. And he started tattooing bananas and things like that. And he was very skilled. He was highly skilled because he loved it. So this guy at 14 years old was tattooing people for money. At 14. And he's been doing that ever since. He's a master. He's phenomenal. I call him master because he found something early on that we're all looking for. And despite all the suggestions that he had from his simulation, from his algorithm, he stayed the course. Why? Because that's what gave him joy. That's what gave him creative force, the energy, the key energy, and made life force flow through him. I asked him, Because he's a crazy guy. If you think about it, it's crazy for us, but for him, it's perfectly normal. He can stay up all night tattooing. He said his record is 3 days straight without sleep tattooing. The clients would come, he would just jump from one to another. I say, don't you feel hungry? Don't you feel tired? He said, no. When I'm tattooing, I don't feel hungry. I don't feel tired. Why? Because that's the life force energy flowing through him. He found his calling at a young age. That's why I call him master. And that's beautiful if you think about it, because for us regular mortals that have not found our calling yet, what do you like? What elicits life force energy from you? What is it? Sports? Are you sure? What kind of sports? Why? If you ask yourself why you like something 5 times and you don't give the same answer, you arrive at the core nucleus of that emotion. And that is worth exploring. And now we're talking about the simulation. We're talking about your life, my life. Why do things happen in your life the way they do? For example, you saw an ad for a car, and you thought, that's a pretty car. And then you were walking by a magazine, a stand, a newsstand, and the cover of that magazine was the car you liked. Oh, okay. You buy the magazine. Or you don't even buy the magazine, you just notice it, your awareness. And then you're driving down the road, the car you said you liked passes you, and you go like, wow, that's a pretty car. I like the tail end. And then the next day or 2 days later, you see a billboard showing the car you liked. So that's interesting. Are those the same kind of suggestions that your Instagram algorithm gives you based on your awareness and your like? But here's the distinction. The simulation is so much more refined that your like button doesn't have the same weight for everything. Your like button is dependent on the transmutation of your emotions towards something. So if you really, really, really like the car is going to appear in your reality. If you just thought the car was nice, you might see another one, you might not. But if you definitely like that car, another one is showing up. Guaranteed, 100%. And then you say, okay, so what's happening here? Is this voodoo magic? It's not voodoo magic. Some people call it the law of attraction. I'm starting to talk about the simulation, so we're going to talk about algorithms. So the algorithm that you told the universe that you liked the most, not the algorithm that you told the universe, your preference based on your emotions revolving around something, told the algorithm of creation what you liked. That's why when you're afraid of something, ever heard of Murphy's Law? Thank you, Murphy, wherever you are. Why? I was involved in racing for a big chunk of my life. And none of my parents were racers, which is kudos to me, because I found something that really, truly moves life force energy through me. And in one particular race, the head coach said, "Did you change the connecting rod from this engine?" to my mechanic. And my mechanic said, "No, it's still good." And then the head coach said, well, you've been racing with that same connecting rod for 4 races already. If something is going to give, it's that connecting rod. And the mechanic said, we don't have time for that now. And the head coach said, well, you should have done it already. And I went to the race. It was the best race I ever had. I was in 2nd place. And guess what came out through the carburetors? The connecting rod. Why? Why? Because it was the point of awareness. It was something that was questionable, questioned. It got energized, picked up by the algorithm of creation, and presented to me. Not just to me, to everybody who was also co-creating that experience. And for me, in terms of feelings and transmutation of emotions, sense of self-worth, all those things came into play. So now I ask you, when bad things happen in your life, do you say, thank you, thank you, thank you for this lesson? Or you go, oh, not again? Why me? Why you? Because you have to learn something from that experience. That is teaching you something. That flat tire is teaching you something, or preventing you from going somewhere you shouldn't be. That crossroad where the truck with no brakes was going to cross. So now, the second part of this video is the source code of the simulation. What is the source code of your simulation? If you take apart all the suggestions and all the things the algorithm presented to you for you to choose from based on all the influences of your life, friends, family, media, people in power, governments, teachers, out of all those things, when you break apart the onion of self, who are you? What's the source code of your simulation? Who are you at the core? Remember the movie Anger Management? Phenomenal movie. I don't want to break it apart for you, but there's a scene where the doctor was asking in a group setting the newcomer, oh, please tell us, who are you? And then the guy says, played by Adam Sandler, says, well, I'm an easygoing guy. I like this. He says, sorry, I didn't ask for your personality traits. Who are you? Oh, well, I'm an executive assistant. Sorry, I didn't ask you for what you do. Who are you? Well, can you tell me? What did you say? Oh, you want the other guy to tell you who you are? Everybody starts giggling. He starts getting nervous. And then the doctor keeps pushing. So just tell us who you are. And then the guy said, Adam Sandler, brilliantly played, says, I don't know what the hell you wanted me to say. I don't know what the bleep you want me to say. And then the scene turns south because that's what exactly the reaction the doctor wanted from him. But if you ask yourself 5 times, who are you? What are you going to say? If you peel the onion of self, layer by layer by layer by layer, and you arrive at the core, all the external influences of the matrix, of the simulation, that have presented choices for you to build character, build integrity, build preferences, lifestyle, choices, things you like. I like beer. Why do you like beer? I like beer. Okay. Why? Oh, I like it. Why? I just like it. I like it the way it makes me feel. Oh, you like the way it makes you feel. Why? Did you ever see Daddy drinking beer? Did any of your friends drank beer? Is the medium responsible for your preferences? Something to ponder, something to think about. But in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that your emotions and the things that spike up your life force are the very things that the simulation of creation present to you as options for you to choose from. This could be the law of manifesting, the law, there's so many laws. The law of attraction. You're creating. You're creating by choosing, just like in social media. But social media is still in its infancy, and it cannot discern by emotional range or intensity, which are the two things that we're talking about in the Church of the Simulation. What emotion are you transmuting? What emotion are you offering back as energy transmuted to the simulation? And what's the intensity? How much of that energy you're flowing? Thank you for watching. If you've been hearing me, if you've heard me till now, cheers to you. You're one of the few, you're one of the brave. And let's explore this topic further, because what else is there? Just distractions.